Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ancients Return.
I was looking at the recap, and it's so long, just because it's like this detailed conversation.
Yeah.
Nerds, I can sum this up.
You go for it.
I mean,
Nerds.
we had a lot of conversations smooth. So after Ginevra sent us some messages, there was some questioning of philosophies and plans going forward, and a discussion on the nature of Malachim and what does or does not exist amongst them, such as wings, which turned out to be somewhat of a perhaps stretch in some ways. Which really just came to a head with Aaron being like, I don't know why y'all so interested. I just want to be left alone.
And then Titania was like,
Yeah.
hey, this is actually like super important to me, at least, and for what I want to do. And I want to respect your privacy, but also
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I've like only dedicated my life to it.
Yeah.
And Akron was like, I really don't give a fuck what you are. Which, no, it's probably, Akron should have been like, there was an appeal to Aaron to try not to kill the agents if there's a chance to escape without doing that.
Uh-huh. Aaron also talked about some kind of difference. The wind feels different. Can you feel it too? Which was just overall very weird.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna point that out as well.
I still want to cast detect magic when he mentions that next. Oh yeah, Ginevra signed an NDA.
Yes, she did.
For agent details.
Well,
like, I wonder how
detailing
how
the
long
whole
that's gonna last.
situation. Well, it was kind of harsh language in there, so.
Yeah, we'll take all your shit. You'll have nothing afterwards.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah. I'm gonna discredit you so hard. Okay, what happened? Morning after.
Yeah.
Yes.
We went downstairs. And important things happened.
They ever had a talk with Medea?
Yes.
And there was like an awkward run-in between Medea and Acheron.
Yes.
Which we appreciate two emotionally distant exes trying to understand each other again.
Also, what was interesting about the conversation with Medea is that she talked about how lonely and empty it was for her in death. And how it really affected her.
Me too, girl. Same.
Yeah. Titania talked with Miron about like authority, and was surprised to learn that Miron was like, "You're still technically the leader here," and she's like, "I was? I thought you were like restricting us and everything, but okay."
Well, you're the leader of which road to take, but you do have limited options.
The illusion of choice.
And then Titania asked for her books, and they neglected to give her some of her more serious essays. But she got her spell book, which is arguably the most important part.
True.
And then Aaron decided to also try to play some games with Mirren.
Find his horse.
Yeah, they bonded over horses though, which was cool.
Yeah, Aaron learned a little bit about Mirren's appeal for horses, claiming that Zelia was potentially stolen because why would a devil have a war horse? And how would he keep her in check? And Aaron kind of taunts Mirren, saying "boo," which kind of like leads him to be super defensive. To which Acheron then kind of feels to have the need to inject themselves into the conversation, perhaps citing
smooth things over.
Like putting Aaron down to like a safe phase. No, Aaron's like not entirely happy with the fact that the way to smooth things over with the church is to insult him.
Called you a dick.
I mean,
Called
if
you
it
a
makes
dick.
you feel better.
And said you could never steal anything in your whole life.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You don't call that an insult? I don't know.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, I did then go on to ask Meulen if his parents died or simply gave him away, so...
Nah, yeah, it doesn't make me feel better.
True.
I came out
guess.
swinging at everyone today.
But
or
Aaron did
last
get
time.
pouty and left the conversation and sat down on the stairs. Yeah.
And I asked Meulen whether we'd be able to get, seeing as Titania already got her spell book back, and Acheron didn't want anything particular back, I asked Meulen whether he could return the what was it again? Was it
A golden clip?
A dented golden
clip.
Yeah.
Yeah, a hair clip. Yeah. To try and make Acheron the devil, not Acheron the devil. It's fine.
I mean, yes.
The devil. More docile. And,
Calling Aaron simple.
Yeah, he is a simple man.
We're trying to help you, man.
True.
Yes.
And I appreciate that it's just the line, you all shit on Osprey and their etiquette. Also maybe torture is good for the soul.
Yeah.
I mean,
God, curse.
I want to have fun when I read these things, okay? I have
I think maybe torture is good for the soul was like a good line, personally.
Yeah, that's why I wrote it up.
Yeah, and then we all got like hostage situationed.
Yeah.
Because swords are missing.
Yeah,
The
sword is
sword
missing. And causing Osprey do the detect magic that I try to like explain away in an immersive way. And Osprey's like, why should I do it? And Mira's like, do it.
Do your job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Titania's suggestion.
Yeah,
We're
it was.
employed.
And
One job.
she notices a faint aura of conjuration and transmutation inside of Aaron's chest. What?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it was,
we get the small feathered wings on Aaron's back.
So they're not feathered, they're more like tendril things.
No,
right?
there's
Well,
like
no,
two
the
weird
feathers.
feathers.
The actual, there's actual.
Yeah, the actual feathers.
Yes.
Back, yeah.
Liar.
But also
Yeah.
very scarred flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Acheron just tosses out the malachite.
No, they got more aggressive, and I played the only card I thought I had.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
I did not want Aaron to get shot, and people were getting angry. Also, I didn't want to be shot.
That's
You know?
Yeah. And
You really
then
opened the can of worms of it.
everything descended into chaos as Aaron did his radiant soul, and we started deceiving Aaron into hopefully giving us a bit more control over our own
Crisis of
situation.
faith.
Okay, but I think we should all remember that while it was a little chaotic, we did actually convince them to sit down and have a conversation with us about how we should proceed together, and specifically, as also noted in these notes, Meulen asked what Aaron's guidance was, so now at least we've started an open dialogue. And
I still laugh every time I see that moment because Meulen is like, I'm not qualified for this, and
Yeah,
seeks
this is beyond me.
guidance in Ginevra, and then I see Acheron's Aspen's biggest eye roll ever. And then Ginevra going, what's your guidance, Aaron, for us? And I'm like,
Don't look to me. You got it.
And Aaron just going,
Nobody wants the
Stars,
authority of this
I
situation.
guess.
and also when Ginevra then asks, what do you think about these people here who have like basically insulted you? And then Aaron going so magnanimous, I forgive them.
Facebook.
Yeah, it seems legit to me.
As someone who comes from a very religious background, yes, sounds like something a religious figure would say.
I forgive
Yeah.
them.
And then Aaron and Meulen agree that they're both tasked with protecting Titania, and Osprey's like, bruh, why is this angel protecting the heretic?
Yeah, like what the fuck?
And
The
Minerva
dog's
then
all
hits
straight.
with the singer. Perhaps you should read more. Oh my god.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and then again, our girl was like, "Hey, let's not make hasty emotional decisions that are going to get somebody fucking murdered. So let's all just like, we all want the same things," which is very out of character for Akron to be the peacekeeper. But we did agree to like sit down and talk about the way forward. Though there was an interesting note at the end that
Cliffhanger.
somebody does not want us interfering with the Raven War's business, and that is probably not what she should be getting herself involved in.
The agents want to take us, are able to take us into Ravenmoor territory, but they're not actually allowed to help us stop what's going on because it's against their
and they
orders.
probably don't want us to go there to stop what's going on if their orders are to allow it.
2
to
sessions
continue,
ago,
so.
they said they could get a meeting with them, but this time, but they said no. The only time they said that they wouldn't take us is when we said we could stop it, not that we just wanted to interact with it. So.
Yeah.
Right.
But if we say that, well, that's what we're going to do, they're going to be like, well, we're not going to take you there.
Well, in case you're not aware, there's this thing called lying.
Just making sure everyone's aware of that fact. So that we all lie.
It's very useful, actually.
No, he's not lying. And then when I was like, no, we're going to... No, shut up.
Oh god.
What a crazy session. The Uno reverse, I think, is just such a good moment.
Oh my god. What happened? What happened? Okay, we're still gonna go into the suspense.
It's crazy.
Oh boy. How dare.
And let's... Daytime! Woo! And here's my... Okay. The Broad-Tagged Inn has proven itself to be a hotspot for drama. It's quite wondrous how many twists and turns have taken place in this rustic inn of modest quality, harboring big dreams. The morning now is in full swing, and the sound of industry faintly can be heard from beyond the inn's wooden walls. Sunlight filters in through the windows at an angle on the left side of the building, making dust dance in the clear rays. Another beautiful summer day, it seems to be. But your attention is on Miron, who has the fireplace gently cracking behind his back, illuminating him slightly from behind. He had sent a quick glance to Silas, who had ushered the staff of the Broad-Tagged Inn into the kitchen once more, before he had slowly and rather quietly said the words, "The goal of stopping what the Ravenmoors are doing, we cannot aid with. It is against our orders." Before anyone can react, after the brief moment of processing passes and Aaron's transformation deactivates on its own, because it's a minute long, Osprey sighs loudly and rather casually mentions, "So, this is all fascinating and seems to have made some people emotional, which is interesting, I guess. But the thing here that I want to point out, that whatever is within the subject here has not dissipated nor changed nature during this thing that we just saw. So, what's up with that? I want to know."
Would you expect it to change if it just has an effect? Isn't it there all the time? And then why would it need to change?
I would expect it to. I mean, it's activated. Should have, grown bigger, right? I don't know.
You don't seem to know a lot, do you?
Yeah, I'll look to Titania and be like,
Well, I assume you're referring to the transmutation and conjuration.
Yes.
Correct? Assumedly, Titania looks at Aaron's radiant soul form.
Oh, it stopped now because it's a minute long.
Oh, it stopped.
We did stretch
Right,
it out
gotcha.
a little bit last session.
Hey. we need it. I haven't seen. I mean, obviously, I'm not casting spells, but I haven't seen any change in what's going on here. I would assume the magic on him has stayed the same. I wouldn't expect any change at this moment. I don't know what it is. That I can't define. But I don't think there's any reason to expect there to be a change here.
I want to see him try.
Aren't we getting a little off topic from what we were originally discussing, kiddo?
Will you shut up? I'm doing my job.
And I'm doing everyone else's job.
Your job is to shut up.
I don't think that's where we're at right now. I think we're at a discussion phase. Discussion requires more than one person to be speaking.
If you want to play around in Aaron's magic later, I'm sure that's something you and him can discuss. First, you should decide.
Fine. All right. If you don't want to play ball with me, Miron, I want to talk to you.
Aren't you the lowest in the pecking order?
Titania thought she was the lowest in the pecking order. It depends upon what we're talking about. And I told you to shut up. You don't know what's happening.
Neither do you.
That's debatable, priestess.
Okay, last in charge.
Why don't you enlighten us if you have any idea?
Can't do.
Please.
Sadly.
I mean, it's not like I'm holding anything back. It's not like I'm visually holding anything in my hands. I'm practically naked. And if that is interesting to you, that is also beside the point.
I've studied
Your
a lot of
needs.
magic. And
So then, why don't you explain your theories here, Osprey? You have Titania here, which you yourself confessed as a prodigy. And while she may not be the last in the pecking order, it's not like I'm disguising anything. So why don't you tell us what you think?
I'm just going to explain myself once, so you better pay attention. I will not repeat myself, okay? When you cast a spell, there's a certain part of your body that lights up, right? When you have detect magic as a spell activated, and you can see it. You can see the Frostmark lights up, and you can see the little red globule of, miracle from beyond coming out of your body. And then it changes nature into whatever school of magic that you want to cast. Another, all the schools of magic that graciously Rihanna's given us. And then something happens for a certain amount of time. Perhaps a faint aura is placed on an object or a person because of whatever the spell is doing. But this has been staying there rather untouched in your chest area for all this time. And when you also sometimes when you activate latent abilities that interact with magic or with your own power, there usually is a shift. There was no shift at all for whatever is in there, so I suggest you try to interact with it and see what happens, isn't it? Interesting, right? Do you want to know what it is? I do.
Are you saying there's something living inside me?
Ah. There's something alien inside of your chest that doesn't belong to you.
Is this
I would want to
going
interact
by
with it.
how, also, not that I understand magic, but this is something you've observed in other people that aren't human? Just to make sure I understand where your evidence is coming from.
Yes, I understand that the subject matter here is not perfect when viewed from all scientific angles, but I'm just working on assumption that I've already seen before and just applying it to a new situation. It can be completely different. Who knows?
And what if it's dangerous?
Then let's find out now.
In the mid... I'm assuming you were taught situational awareness and to keep your environments in check before you do these types of things. Maybe not. Maybe it was a luxury for people in your program not to have to worry about that type of stuff. But you're in the field now.
Tool, it's not that powerful.
I don't even know what it is. I can't feel any different. Yeah, but I feel any different.
Real quick. Looking over at like the side, are this kitchen staff still in this room?
I know, I did try to bake in there in my explanation that last time I forgot to mention that, of course, at a certain point in the conversation, Myron would have mentioned to Silas to remove the staff from the room.
Yeah, that's what, just making sure.
When they started the hostage situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was like, people are gonna fucking die if they're not. So just making sure.
Okay. I mean, Aaron, do you try to do something about it?
Like what? Like, I mean, I can't see what she's talking about. I can't feel any different.
But
So
have you tried to like reach in and like try to feel in that area she's talking about? Mind's eye.
That's why I asked, how would one interact with it?
I don't know.
Osprey, in your remarkable opinion, being a magic user, would you perhaps consider the fact that I am unaware of what you see? I can't do the things you've done.
You're a complete novice then. No.
I wouldn't call myself a novice necessarily. You have a different way of learning magic. But I have something I can potentially... It's not meant to be a slight against you. Osprey is purely that people learn different ways. But the only thing I can think of to learn about what you see is perhaps meditation. It's a little bit distracting.
Okay, so
standing here naked in front of you.
Why? What does that matter? Okay, so listen. When touching the miracles of Rion or the heresies of the devils, assumedly, it's all about the power of the mind over the magic, right? And so you gotta visualize what you want, and then if you have enough brilliance, then it happens.
And what would you say that I want?
I don't know. Just imagine that area in your mind's eye and see if you can interact with it. I don't know what's going to happen.
Agrat's gonna look to Mirren to see how if Mirren seems like he's going to step in here at any point.
Mirren has actually been using this pause to have a moment of non-distraction to think. And he has done a few cursory glances over the situation, but really focusing in on something, just making sure that everything remains safe, and seems to have been deep into thought for quite a while.
Is there anything tiny nearby, like a pebble I can like throw at him? If not, I'll like just like move closer to just try and get his attention, because I'm really trying to. I don't want Osprey to have control in this moment, so I'm really trying to get another voice in here.
Let's roll a 1d100 to see if there's a pedal.
Luck check.
Oh, I said a pebble, but that's fine too.
Oh, there's no pebble.
Oh, shit. Okay, I'll just, like... I'm not... I mean, as funny as Acheron absolutely would, but not this time. Acheron is going to, like, do the, like, like, stretch thing, but definitely, like, move closer to Viren, trying to enter his field of view to, like, you know, snap him out of it. We'll try this first. If this doesn't work, we'll overtly interact with him, so... Yeah.
He does notice that you're trying to catch his attention, and then his attention instead becomes, why are you trying to catch my attention?
Okay, well then, so he does notice or doesn't?
He does.
He does notice.
Okay, so then Acheron's just gonna look between Osprey and him, and Osprey, and him, and Osprey again, and kind of give like a, the fuck are you waiting for kind of look.
Usually there's like a neutral expression on Myron's face, but you do see that there's been some heavy, still a little bit of confused and everything in the drama and all of it. And he looks over to Osprey when your gaze goes to her and then goes back to you, and then shakes his shoulders as if it doesn't matter to him.
Look, Osprey, the closest person I'm here in this room to is Titania. She's the person who I spend most time with. She's the person I trust the most here. You also think that she is good enough in magic. And whilst I don't really know what you're getting at in terms of just feeling my way inside myself, maybe I could work this through with Titania.
Oh, we're the three of us. I think, personally, if this conversation, we understand what we're doing now, we understand that there are circumstances a bit beyond ourselves, but we're still going to move east. Sorry. Brain. We decided we're still going to move east. I would personally very much like to get on the road as quickly as possible. Osprey, if we'd like to do this tonight at camp, I would gladly be there to try and take some notes on whatever this is. But for now, I think, personally, we should get on the move.
Maybe we should discuss how that's going to look like, though.
Miron.
Yeah, of course, quite a disturbance here already.
Miron.
It's maybe not the best place to stay to avoid people's eyes and whispers.
Miron nods at that and kind of gets out of whatever he was in and says, "Right, Osprey, we need to move. This is not good." Osprey swivels around on her heel. Fine. We can do it later. But I still want to have that talk with you, and that talk is going to happen now. Miron is about to say something else, but Osprey brings up like a finger. No! We're going to have this talk now!
I'll be looking at him like, you're really letting this go push you around?
Princess.
And Miron nods slowly and says, "Fine, Osprey. Let's have that talk." And they head into here.
Can Aaron do one thing?
Oh?
As this conversation of like we're having this talk, can he incite whether or not Osprey and Miriam are a thing?
Sure.
That was not what I expected. Okay, sure. Yeah.
Nice stuff.
First roll. Oh my god.
Is this
Was
like
that
a
both
lovers
23s?
quarrel?
Oh no, the other one was a 28. Oh, I
No, not.
Osprey's like 18.
Yeah,
So?
and
Also,
Miron
there's
is
a
like
power balance there.
30 something.
35 to
30.
45.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No. There's no sexual or affectionate tension between these two. But with that critical 20 is what you can... You get a sense that Osprey do have some kind of authority. Because Miron seems a bit scared. Well, not necessarily scared, but concerned with her behavior right now.
Like, in the sense that he reacted as if she has leverage over him in some way?
Could be. You're not certain about the kind of authority it is, but there is some kind of authority here that she wields in this moment.
Okay. I will pick up my shirt.
Oh yeah. The guard here awkwardly helps you don the armor again.
So,
The buckle, the sticks.
do we go saddle up our horses, or what's the plan now?
Maybe we should wait for the princess to have her little talk. You know, hey Titania. Thank you for not being like that, because I can very honestly tell you that if you were, I would never have spoken to you again.
If I was like that, I don't think I would be here right now. I think I'd be back in Malgrave.
Ew.
Thank you. Oh god, I'm gonna need to talk to them for several reasons. Oh my goodness, they are... I don't know, some people just grew up like that, I guess.
I assume we're still being watched by Silas, right? And, I mean, Medea's there, but...
Yeah.
Medea's loyalty is not necessarily something I'm super worried about.
Medea is staring a lot at Aaron.
I think Akron's gonna take a look back at Medea and kind of give a "you okay" look at her, because that was probably a lot.
She's kind of brought out of a tiny daydream when you just look over her shoulder and up at her, and she realizes close she's standing to you and snaps a little bit and I'm sorry, yes, I'm gonna go stand guard here, yes. She leans against the wall, crosses her arms.
Yeah, I think Akron has that exact kind of lays back on the stairs.
While we're waiting, Titania will turn to Silas and ask, I don't know how long you've been working with these guys, but is this normal? Kind of points into the foyer where Osprey and Miron are talking.
None of this is normal? Miss Cattle looks.
That is fair.
Are you doing okay, Silas?
Okay is a very strong word, don't you think?
At least it's not something you get to see every day. Certainly it will be an interesting story to maybe tell to people probably never. But at least you know you've done it.
I know. This was all horrible. I wish I'd never seen it.
Well, those stories make for... Well, those experiences always make for the best stories.
Oh, this is just gonna make things more dangerous.
Listen,
Fun
Silas,
times.
We're genuinely going to try to do this in a way that won't result in danger for you. I promise.
I don't think
Or
you
anyone.
can have that kind of power anymore. But I appreciate the gesture, priestess.
I mean,
Going to do our best.
She's not going to give you a bad review. Feel good about that.
still brings the matter of the sword that I don't understand.
What do you mean?
Where did the sword go? Have the other knights left now? Or are they still here?
We haven't really had an opportunity to go and search the town. We've been stuck in this inn all morning.
Why would they want a shitty sword? No offense, Aaron. Just sword looks like
No,
trash.
it's just because they were the ones who were guarding it. So if they've gone, you know, we can't talk to them. But if they're still here, we can get some more information from them.
Aaron, make me a presence check. Pure presence.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You can oddly, for a second there, you oddly felt the outline of your sword's handle in your hand. Like feeling a ghost limp.
It wasn't just a sword. Macron? You mean the blade itself, yes, but you also had a stone one.
Lots of swords have rocks in them. It's a common decoration thing.
I'm sure you would know.
Not really a sword person. Not really.
It's not really the time or place really to mention such things, I don't think.
If it's just a sword, then it doesn't matter too much. You can always get a replacement if one's needed. It's just strange.
This... I can't tell if Miran... Silas, maybe you can inform me, although I don't remember if you were part of the conversation. Were you worried that we were armed? Or does the sword have special value?
You asked that to Silas?
This is a question to everybody, but also to Silas, because he's one of the agents who might actually know something. What's going on here?
He's the highest in command in the room right now.
That's true.
Yep.
He looks very confused, but then Medea in the corner kind of holds up a hand. I haven't heard anything about it. It was just a missing
But
sword.
you certainly felt it though, haven't you? In Aaron wheels around to Medea.
Feels a little bit like she's been caught in the cookie jar.
I watched this interaction closely.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't.
You've seen it before though, haven't you?
The sword?
The sword.
Not too much of it, because I was, as you remember, out of there before it got too dicey.
No, I remember you.
Her defensive stature kinda ends, and she seems to get a more open body language, and what you think is at least an earnest glint in her eyes as she says, I don't know what's going on here, but if it's true that you are indeed a celestial, I don't know how to apologize for what I did. truly didn't know. It was just orders, right? Rihanna's not angry with me.
What do you think, Medea?
Don't be mean to her.
We all make mistakes, Medea. It's what we do when we realize that we made one that matters.
It was orders. It wasn't a mistake. It's not like she had a choice.
You weren't there, Echo. You don't know what happened.
No, I was essentially there. You don't understand what it's like. Do you think she had a choice? They would have fucking killed her. Hell, they did in the end. Isn't that enough to make up for it? What more do you want?
There's always a choice.
No, there's not. And the fact that you think there is just shows that you're privileged. I'm so sorry that not all of us lived a life where we got to have choices.
There's always a choice to do the right thing. Doesn't mean it's always easy. Doesn't mean it's always not scary. But I think you know when you can. I think you know when you're doing the right thing.
Cora, perhaps if I refused that mission and I would die, I wouldn't have ended up there. Perhaps I would have ended up where I should have gone.
And where the fuck is that, Medea? Because you know what? Either way, you would have died. And you know what? Watching you die the first time was pretty fucking terrible for me. So I'm sorry if I'm not sorry that you did what you did.
I'm sorry.
Musing on the past has little value anyway. You never know how anything would happen if anything happened differently. Like I said before, you only have the choices that you have going forward. What you're going to do about the things that you know now. Changing the past isn't possible, so there's no point trying to muse about what would have happened if you did. Just try and focus on where we are right now and where we're going next.
Yes, to recover the demon rock.
And learn about everything going on around there. Try and maybe save some people.
From what? A rock? We're not interacting with it, remember?
It's more than the rock, it's the people there that are hurting people, gathering people up.
That's not our mission. That's not what we're doing.
It's going to be hard to avoid. I imagine it's probably tied to it with the knowledge that we've been getting.
Aaron's gonna walk forward to Medea, not because he wants to be closer to Medea, but because he feels like he might get a hint of the conversation going on outside. Do I hear anything at this point, or are they too far away? Bexxy?
You're muted,
shit.
I think.
I was muted. Oopsie doopsie. I said that Medea kind of like she wants to meld into the wood right now. She's standing against. She is keeping a distance. Making me perception intelligence to find out. How sharp are you ears?
Neptune shot?
No, cannot hear it. Sadly.
Listen, Medea. It's not like you did a whole lot of damage to me the first time. I'm here now. How often do you get a second chance at things?
She looks very conflicted, and
I'll be looking at her from behind Aaron and just kind of give her a little comforting nod or encouraging nod.
Then how can I do that, Celestial? How can I earn my redemption? So when I die, I will end up in his realm.
I can't imagine what you saw when you entered the Black.
Nothing.
How long you stayed there?
I don't know. Felt forever. That was the problem. It was nothing.
And when you came back, what was the first thing that you thought of?
Corey, of course.
I think Akron's so guilty right now.
I wondered if she was alive or not. That was my first thought.
Not where you were, not how you got there, but the well-being of someone else.
It's a little bit hard to hear you with the weird echo going on. Can you repeat that?
I said, you thought of someone else, not your own well-being, when you came back.
Mm. Well, I know in that moment that I was well enough.
I don't know what you have to do to feel like you have redemption there, what it is not to do with me. And he will kind of straighten his back and like look over to Acheron and then back to Medea.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have bigger things to take care of, at least for now. And he will go back. We'll sit on the crate again.
Okay. Medea gives a look over towards Acheron and then resolutely changes her line of sight to the fireplace instead.
Yeah, I was about to say, Acheron's not even looking that direction right now. It's just dead staring at the floor.
Nice. Alright.
Titania's writing in her notebook, making sure she has Medea's brief descriptions of the afterlife in her notes, because that's new. That is very new and very important.
Oh, damn. Oh, God. Alright.
I was gonna go up to Silas and just ask him, based off of what Meulen said around taking us into Ravenmoor territory, but not allowing us. I can't remember what the exact words were. I would have in game because it wouldn't have been that long. But basically, repeating what Meulen told us. Like, what does he mean by that?
I don't know if, but you did sign the NDA. You were a priestess asking me. It's like an order. You're putting me a little bit in a tight spot, priestess. All right. Can we wait until Meulen comes back and he explains more? I don't know what to say.
Well, we're all working together here.
Yeah.
Joined, effectively. And it was approved by Meulen, I understand that. We share information.
It's a very sensitive matter.
So, are we going to be traveling together, or?
I don't. Princess, I don't know. All right, I just don't know. And he gives you this biggest smile, but the smile is just hurt.
Can I try and understand, at least when I ask the question of like what does that mean? You know, he's obviously like, I'm not really sure I should tell you. Like I don't know if it what he's trying to hide about it. Like I'm just trying. So Mirren said last time that like we can get you to the Ravenmoor territory, but we can't let you. Was it recover the artifact or stop what they're doing, or I can't remember what
stop
the
what they're
specifics
doing.
was.
He said
Can't
he is
stop what
able
they're doing.
to bring you over the pass. He is able to bring you to Cedar Valley and investigate there. He is able to organize a meeting with the Ravenmoors and protect you whilst you're traveling in the Ravenmoor territory. But what he is unable to do, that apparently is against his orders, is stop what the Ravenmoors are doing.
Okay. So can I ask what the purposes of us speaking to the Ravenmoors is?
Oh.
Other than...
Well, that's simple, because Titania wanted it, and apparently it's part of the compromise.
The compromise?
Yes, the compromise of bringing Titania back into the Falcon Project.
Oh,
obviously.
Okay.
What do you think all the letters were for?
I understand that. I mean, trying to tie everything together, it's been a bit hectic. Lots of people and different schools involved.
I gotta say, Titania, kind of leans his head a little bit to the side to get a silent overview. You must have steel in your veins, ice in your heart to get those letters and not immediately turn away. I mean, like, it's rather impressive. The passion you have for whatever you're doing. So passionately heretical. Wow, you're so smart and so foolish at the same time.
Just stares daggers at him.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Aaron?
Is that ghostly appendage feeling still there, or was it just like a fleeting thing that happened?
When people were talking about it, it happened for a second, but then it disappeared.
And like a memory.
Yeah, like a ghost limb. Like for a second, it felt like you had it in your hand, but you didn't. Thinking about it though, make me another presence check. Is that the 7?
7.
A 7? Alright. No. Weird. Your hand is just your hand.
Technically, from this position, I can see Mirren.
Mm-hmm.
Can I interpret what he's saying? So I can see his lips.
He does have his lips. You're seeing the side of his face, and not like a straight side, just like a little bit of an angle away from you. So you can see his facial expressions and that he is moving his lips, but it's not enough to able to read them.
Can I read his facial expressions then?
Yeah. Seems like that very, very composed Mirren has returned, where there's very little to read on the surface.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting. Okay. And you can actually view, Unnerva, how they're starting to move away from that position. And then a sound of a door opening. And Mirren coming back inside. Osprey just staying in the hallway. right. Listen. I made my decision. We are going to go ahead with our original setup. But just in case, I won't treat you as strictly anymore. You're not strict prisoners. More like my wards. You are still not allowed to run away from us. Still not allowed to work against us. But I'm willing to loosen the knot a bit. And as Titania voiced, she wants to research the site of where this devil artifact was found. And then, if you want to, there can be a meeting with the Raven Moors. But after these two objectives have been finished, you are all, including Aaron, coming back to Ainur. So, a confirmed Herald of Rion can speak to an unconfirmed Herald of Rion.
Sounds reasonable to me.
All in agreement?
Thank you for your graciousness. You have a knife in my throat, so might as well. Thank you.
Patron doesn't react nor respond.
Alright.
Aaron stands and, gives a side glance over to Titania, trying to convey an emotion of, are you really sure this is a good idea?
Titania looks extremely worried.
So does Aaron.
Yeah. I think they kind of share a moment like, we're fucked. Eye contact.
And there's the shared moment of panic sort of immediately comes in and leaves. Aaron stands and faces Mira and says, so we have a plan. Just out of curiosity, though. The sword is gone and you have no intention of looking for it.
It goes against my orders. Cannot do anything about it.
Then would you permit us as your wards to have our actual things back?
Trust is earned. There might be in the future that I will give back some items. But for now, I'm the most comfortable with the arrangement that we have, especially considering what just have happened.
Do you at least have the item I requested earlier?
Oh, yes. And he goes into his pocket and toss the clip to Aaron.
Dex check?
No. He does it in a way to make sure it's not like think fast. Right?
Yeah.
It's more like he catches your eyes and then tosses.
Okay, I instinctively catch it, and then I look at what I caught.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look back at Mirren. Then to Ginevra.
Just give a small smile.
He does the slightest of nods. And puts it in the pocket in his pants.
Alright. Okay. We really much need to leave now.
Agreed. Shall we?
He says as Titania walks past, they are outside, staring at us. So let's act normal, shall we? So we're gonna roughly put you into the carriage. But it's just an act, alright?
Alright. Fine.
Can I, as
Wait,
he flipped it,
Wait, we have a carriage.
You thought they were gonna let us walk like free people? Come on,
That's a fair point.
Titania.
Okay. Well, that makes things a bit easier then, doesn't it? We have transport. Lovely. Okay.
Will I be in the carriage or will I have a separate horse?
That's your decision, priestess, of course.
For now, I will travel with a horse.
Yes, we have enough.
I think I might have to have a word with Zilly, my horse, to make sure she doesn't kick up a fuss.
Is it alright that she is being not ridden for now, but just led along, and you do that after we have cleared our audience?
I mean, she may not take friendly to you dragging her along. Depends on how much effort you want to expend at this point. I can lash her to the back of the carriage.
Alright. Then I will treat you rather strictly when you go to meet her.
Is this not an audience we can just take care of?
No, the audience is the Inquisitor. Wondering why we haven't left yet.
Would she respond better if I went to her?
Would she?
Asking Aaron. Rather than one of them.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about the Inquisitor. You're gonna go talk to the
No,
Inquisitor.
no, I'm talking about Zelia. Would Zelia respond better if I was the one, not to ride her, but just to join her with the others? Lash her on the back, so that you're not seen doing it. But she also doesn't freak out.
I can't say. Did you calm her down whilst I was unconscious?
Yes, enough to lash her to the column out there. And she's let me be close before.
It's up to you. I mean, you have the choice here. You could put up a bird face, but I mean, there's a chance that she won't listen to you, but there's a certainty that she will listen to you. So
maybe I can go first, and if she doesn't, then you join. It just looks better than immediately deferring to you getting to interact with your horse for the show, the audience.
maybe. I mean, she knows you, I guess, a little. Could work out. Fair enough.
All right.
Alright.
Yep.
Alright.
I'll
Okay.
follow Marin's lead.
Yep.
Whether he needs to go first or he will push the others out first or whatever, I'll just follow.
Mirren is going to put a hand on Aaron's shoulders and act like push him in front of him.
Some tall ass shoulders.
Yeah, it's a little bit like, but still, you
Didn't
know.
push my butt.
Yes, he holds your butt cheeks and then he pushes you forward. No.
Full on double grab. Double
Well,
palm in it.
Upper bicep, right. Two.
Sure. Okay. I will
Because-
comply.
Alright. Alright, and then you're like marched out with him. And his demeanor does change to be very, very strict as he like pushes you out, especially now. And he mutters, "Devil spawn, make this horse respond."
Okay, I thought you knew what I did.
Yeah, I thought I was going to that's fine.
To respond to our commands. And as you get up to Celia, it kind of pushes you forward a little bit, so you stumble a little bit.
Okay.
Titania's just following Ginevra.
I think I guess Akron's waiting to see if it's we're all getting grabbed or if Akron's just expected to walk.
They don't believe that you can get out of this, especially since you also have an audience.
That's fair. Okay.
Seeing him take Aaron to Zelia, I'll instead take the other two to the cart, but allow them just as we're going to get an eye on the scene and the setup.
Mm-hmm.
But just still be walking them to the cart, because I know that Titania is smart and Acheron is perceptive, so they don't need lots to be able to get a read on setup.
Yeah.
What's Zelia's demeanor? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No,
yeah.
it's fine.
What is Celia doing, Aaron?
Well, I mean, I don't. You tell me what has happened thus far. I don't know what's gone on outside.
Okay, no, fair. Celia has remained in her spot for almost all the night, and then early this morning, very early, she was checked by one of the soldiers here. They checked her hooves and her health and her fur, and made sure that the saddle was sitting like it should have been, and then attempted to lead her to this area over here. That's what they wanted, at least.
Okay, so her demeanor will probably calm down a little bit. She's Aaron. But still kind of spooked with all the extra horses and people around, I suppose. Especially with all the chains jangling.
Mm-hmm.
And as Aaron gets brought up towards Celia, he will look into her eyes, and he will. Is he bound? He's not bound, right?
She
Aaron's
is
not bound.
bound right now, because otherwise she would have caused trouble.
Okay. But Aaron's not bound, right?
Yeah, no, Aaron is not bound. No.
Okay. So so he will reach up for her nose, and as he does so, he will whistle. Some. It's a tune. It's a note. A few notes. That kind of linger on the air, high pitched and wavering. Kind of how one of those shepherds with their sheepdogs kind of thing, in a way. Not too startling, but more ethereal kind of stuff. And her demeanor should calm. And he pats her on the nose and rests his forehead on her snoot. He gives her a pat on the neck. And then grabs her upper lip and just wiggles it.
I don't want to interrupt, but I do want to know if Acheron can try to memorize the note that Aaron just hit. With the whistle, the sound of the whistle, so that it can be recreated later.
Oh. Well, you try, and let's see what happens in the future.
What am I rolling?
Well, you will be rolling the intelligence check when you want to do it to see if you're able to recall this moment.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alright.
So, try to put it on your mind. And indeed, as you came out here and surveyed the land, you saw the four people from the Oakard Basilica, the Inquisitor, the Sparrow, the Knight, and the agent all standing there watching you what the fuck have you guys been doing? What is this? But they don't say anything, they just watch. Especially the Inquisitor with his hawk eyes.
Yeah, I'll smile at the woman, say good morning, and go past to the Inquisitor. and just say apologies for the delay. I hope you are well.
There wasn't a lot of sleep this night. I've been feeling a little bit nauseous by the after effects of whatever she hit me with. And I was wondering if I should head inside, sword drawn, considering it has been very quiet in the tavern for a very long time. In Rihanna's name, what were you doing?
They're just being a bit unruly, but it's under control. Meulen is very talented. You won't have a problem with them from now on.
Empathy.
Me?
I'm gonna do empathy.
Okay.
You're gonna do deception. With either presence or manipulation. It wasn't really clear in this moment, so I will let you choose.
Okay. Do manipulation.
Ooh!
Oh,
You have a chance now. Why is it taking so long? Come on. Load. There we go.
Suspense.
Yeah, it's taking so long to roll. Okay, there we go. Alright. His intense gaze holds yours steadily, and then eventually nods and says, I'm glad to hear it, that everything is under control. And this is goodbye then.
Travel safely.
You too, priestess. Of course.
May I watch over your path.
May Rian light yours.
And I'll go over to the knight and kind of give a bit of a bow and say it was an honor to meet you.
An honor. Priestess, it is always an honor to meet one of the clergy.
You're too kind. Travel safely. May Rian's light shine over you.
And you too, of course, priestess.
And I'll just give a gentle smile to the girl.
No reaction at all.
Yeah. And yours. And unless he says anything else, I'll head to one of the horses.
The knight adds, good luck with whatever is happening here.
Thank you. Prayers are always appreciated.
I will pray for you. Pray that you are not blinded by falsehood or anger Rian and his strange machinations.
Thank you. And I guess I'll take this horse.
Yeah,
It's the horse
sure.
that's going.
Yeah,
It's next to the carriage, so
it's okay.
I'll saddle up.
Right. And one by one, you hop into the carriage. The carriage has these two windows that have steel bars. The door has a very heavy lock to it, and also has two windows in the back with steel bars. Oh well, iron, to be correct. And you all settle up, and a few minutes afterwards, Miron is telling a formal goodbye to the Inquisitor, who deemed not to say anything back, and the carriage starts moving.
Real quick, how big is the inside of this carriage compared? Because, like, we got 2 really tall ass people inside of this thing. How much room is there inside?
There's enough for 6 people to sit. And
okay, it's pretty big.
Yes.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna get this in here then. If Aaron and Titania are sitting on the same side, Akron's just gonna lay down on the opposite bench.
Ooh!
Like, inside the carriage.
I thought Titania and Akron were sitting next to each other.
Oh, I mean, Akron will lay down, like, on you. Akron doesn't give a fuck. We've been friends for a while. So, yeah, regardless, Akron's laying down on the bench. Regardless of... Akron would probably do the same thing to Aaron, to be honest.
All right.
Yeah, Akron's just laying down on the bench.
Alright.
Slayed over whoever.
Okay. Alright. And, you're on your way. Wow.
Can I also see whereabouts there might be their items stored in all this? I imagine it's probably like on the back of the carriage or something. If he said that trust is earned, you can get it back in time, then he must be bringing at least some items with them, or if not all of them. So I'm just curious where they might be.
In between the 2 wheels underneath the carriage, there seems to be trunks. That you don't know what's within them, but there seems to be storage space in between the wheels on the lower end, and some tents or other things tied to the top as well.
Okay, yeah.
That's what you see for now. All right, then.
Words.
Yeah, let's switch up the sound a little bit. Yeah.
Either I go grab a drink, or can we take a bio break soon?
Yes, I was just about to go for a break.
Okay, just making sure. Sorry.
Yeah. No worries.
I need another ice pack.
No worries. I was just thinking that as well. Spruce Cross seems to produce completely different sounds in the morning hours. Gone are the sounds of partying, drunkards, or late-night travelers. Instead, the morning offers the sound of industry. Fires of the blacksmith has already brought to life. The chisel and saw is already slaving away for the cartwright just over the street here. And the door to the bathhouse across the street with impressive marble decorations. Its doors swing open and close at a regular basis as you wait to have the carriage depart. You also notice that you're not the only ones leaving Spruce Cross this morning. When you eventually arrive at the gates at the end of the town, there seems to be a line, considering the amount of time you have to wait. And what you can see from in between the iron bars, you are completely fine. There seems to be travelers on horse, by foot, and in wagons, slowly but surely lining up behind you as you wait for your turn. It is a boring time. Waiting, moving only inches forward, having the air within the wagon fill up with mud and muck. But soon you're on your way once more, leaving Spruce Cross behind. Let's go back.
And we're all alive!
Woo!
We made it! It's a Christmas miracle!
Yes!
Oh my god.
How did that happen?
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
We're so lucky.
We're still heading east! I 100% consider this a win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
Oh my gosh.
Gotta set up the soundscape, right? The urban environment is swapped for a light forest with a lot of small and fragile leaf trees. An unusual sight after the dominance of the more heavy leaf trees and the evergreens you have seen so far. Even if you can't see much of it, You feel it in your bones that the weather is clear and bright. It's not the hottest outside, and you think you're any odd for that. Still, the breeze is gentle, and the temperature quickly rises inside of the wagon to mild sauna levels. You all wish you could have been on horseback, enjoying this weather properly. And before we go for any kind of talky talks, let's go for a break. Woo!
Okay. Oh my
You
goodness.
survived.
Ow!
I just realized my mic never turned on. What I said was, this has nothing to do with luck. We actually put a lot of hard work into this, actually.
Also fair.
Some of us did weeks of planning and lore deep dives to get here. Some of us, it's me.
Let's go, Aspen.
Alright,
Alright.
go and
Be
get
back.
that drink,
Let's walk.
empty your bladders. Look at a cute puppy on the internet. Very important. And if you got a horse nearby, go there and wiggle their mouth a bit.
You can tell
Yeah.
I've had horses before.
Yeah, I remember that. Their mouths are so weird. They're so quirky. And like to see them eat is so weird with like the mouth, like you know? It's so fun to like move the lips around. It is.
And they like it. Well, generally they like it, you know, because it's like they're very versatile, very dexterous kind of lips that like I move around.
Yeah.
Like the licking and chewing is like very horse stuff. So.
And then long ass tongues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Dungeon Creepers, hello. So happy to see you here. I hope you're having a good time. Are you a D&D player yourself, a GM, a homebrewer? Tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm gonna go and get myself a drink, and I will read your message when I come back, Dungeon. I'm the tech part of our group. I play a Tabaxi monk right now at level 6. Ooh, but I also DM a bit on the side. Super cool. I hope you have great fun in your adventures ahead. Scratch, scratch, stunning strike. That is true. That's a Tabaxi monk for you. I just like to say that this comparison noise sounds a lot like rapid typing on a mechanical keyboard. Does it? Perhaps. Is it a bad sound or a good sound, Halo? Oh, and Readling. I think it's Readling. Yeah, Readling followed 3 minutes ago. I'm sorry if I didn't catch that. Hello, Readling. Thank you so much for the follow. We send on Twitch as well. You stream on Twitch as well. We just enter our Christmas time off. Yeah. Let me tell you. I have 3 campaigns per week. And sometimes additional like combat playtests as well that I'm gonna have this Saturday, by the way. Gonna be playing against a Gearwork Behemoth, a original monster. CR16 is a huge mecha. I think it's gonna be 4 o'clock Central European time. I'm gonna start the stream. Yeah, but either way, I got 3 campaigns per week, and it has been rather nightmarish scheduling for that this couple of weeks. But hopefully it will end in a week's time. I hope. But I do have one who celebrates the Asian New Year, so we're gonna get some problems again with Curse of Other Torment on Wednesdays around, is it February, I think? It's a good sign, just confusing when I know people are also occasionally typing. Okay, but seriously, I need to log off before I'm up watching the stream past midnight again. Oh, I'm sorry, Hebo, but not really sorry. Take care. Have a good night. And Soki followed too. Thank you so much for the follow. Also, one of the few, maybe the only one streaming in Swedish. You're Swedish? Hey! Jag kommer från Umeå. Jag är också svensk. Oh, Soki is my personal account, so you followed me on that account? Oh, I see. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome back. How's your toes? Do they hurt?
This is so inconvenient.
Your toes?
Yeah.
Do you have some kind of painkiller for that?
Oh no, I've already taken like dangerous amounts of ibuprofen stuff.
Doesn't push yourself too hard.
No, it's just really inconvenient, you know? Also, I hate crutches more than I hate broken toes, so like, my suffering is immeasurable.
And your day is ruined.
Oh no, I did this like 2 days ago. But yes, my week very ruined. The only reason I'm not just like toughing it out and actually using crutches is because if I walk on my foot wrong, I can mess up my knee, and if I mess up my knee, I have to get surgery again. That's really annoying.
Du har släkt i mig, bor i Stockholm. Stackars dig. Höll jag på att säga.
Don't break your toes, children. PSA.
How did you break your toe?
I took too much ADHD meds and it was 2 in the morning and I didn't turn on the lights. I missed 4 steps, stepped on like the top, and your foot's supposed to be like this. I stepped on my foot like that.
On the stairs.
Yeah. And then I just went, wow, it feels like I broke some of my toes, and then I ignored it and walked on it for several hours.
Oh, yeah. And you're like, yeah, no, I definitely broke some toes.
Let's walk on it for several hours.
It was one of those things where, like, when I did it, like, the pain was not equivalent even to, like, really slamming your foot against someone, but it was a very specific kind of pain, and I was just like, I think I just broke my toes? What? Like, I just had that feeling. I've done this before, like, many times, so I know the broken bone feeling.
You are familiar with the sensation.
But then, like, the pain went away really quickly, and I was like, oh, maybe it's fine. It wasn't fine. It, like, completely broke. Like, a clean break in my
How long is the recovery time?
How long is it supposed to be? Probably several weeks to, like, a month or so. How long am I going to actually follow what I'm supposed to be doing? 2 weeks. Probably.
And then break them even worse.
Oh no!
I've broken all of my...
weeks.
You've learned your lesson in some way or the other.
Most of my toes already. So, it's not the first time I've broken toes.
If you do it correctly, they do grow back stronger, so...
No, listen, none of them are pointing the wrong way, and I can move all of them still, so
stronger is about them not breaking again. It's about recovering from a break. The fact you have broken before does not mean that you get wait less
it's about
time
6 weeks.
to recover.
But I am a terrible person to myself, and I don't care about pain, so... Can't be worse than the time I walked on a sprained ankle for several months.
Man, I don't know how you could do that. I had a sprained ankle and I was
like really dissociated for most of my high school years, so pain just didn't really register.
It doesn't sound good.
It looked like I had like a tennis ball inside my ankle when I tried walking on my
Isn't it
sprained
so
ankle.
dreadful? It's such a weird feeling. I hate it. No,
Yeah.
I'm clearly
It's like an feeling.
an action movie protagonist, and I just forget that I'm injured after 5 minutes of the movie.
That's true.
It's built
Movie
different.
logic.
No, don't break your bones. A PSA from your friendly neighborhood Aspen.
That's solid. Solid advice.
Yeah, I wish I took it.
Joey got his rib scratch. What I'm saying? What is it called? Cracked. There we go.
Cratched.
Cracked. I don't know what happened there. In MMA training.
Okay.
Mood.
Yeah.
Same,
And
bro.
still sometimes when he like breathes heavily, you can like feel it still. So, and it's like
That's how I
months
think
ago.
my ribs got fucked up, was that I broke them several times and never got medical attention.
Non-broken bones is pretty solid. Yeah, I have never broken a bone, so. Twee over the shoulder and
What?
hope it never happens.
I now no longer trust either of you.
Because we haven't broken a
very
bone.
Sheltered child.
When
didn't
I was
like
born,
climbing
the-
trees. I stayed inside.
I was born with a broken bone.
I'm risk averse.
Wow.
So,
You keep it?
I get away from things.
I
No.
was
Never
born
broken.
with too little pigment in my skin, so it was too yellow. So the first thing I did when I came out as a little baby was that I went to the solarium and got a tan.
I was saying.
I think that's pretty rad. When I think about it. I'm like,
Cool
yeah,
baby times.
we're setting our priorities correct here.
Dang.
So you came out with too much yellow and they gave you more of a tan.
No, it's
It's a jaundice thing. It's sometimes I
Yeah.
don't remember if your kidneys or your liver isn't working properly, and it can make you appear yellow. And the
Yes.
answer is I don't know if it's vitamin D, but it is contained in sunlight.
But do you mean that's why you were yellow? You came out with
Yeah.
a tan? Okay, I understand. Funny joke. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Starting
I got all
strong.
those today, guys.
Oh god.
Okay.
Pity me.
But you're like traveling. What is it, tomorrow or the day after? So give yourself
Day
some
after,
slack.
that's why.
And you look so cute. Like you look like you're taking
Aw,
care of
thank
yourself as
you.
well. So good on you being so busy and having so many balls in the air.
Yeah.
Good job.
I missed where you're going. Where are you heading up to?
Italy, to visit my boyfriend for Christmas and New Year. 3 whole weeks. You're so excited.
Whereabouts in Italy?
Naples. That's where he
Okay,
lives.
enjoy.
With his family.
The
Thank you.
food.
I just gotta get there. I just gotta get. I have like
You'll be
24
fine.
hours.
You can
Like
do it.
literally less than 24 hours. I could take my tests and do all the shit that will let me get in the country, unless they change it again. Yeah, holding out for them to keep their borders open. Not change it tomorrow.
24-hour test is pretty hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's stressful, but the airlines are pretty quick with getting back to you on things. I'm flying with Ryanair. So we'll see how well they'll do.
Okay.
But they say that you can check in online up to 2 hours before, so must be pretty quick.
Still
when they
have
give
to
you your
talk to
boarding
someone
pass.
though.
You'll be
You
fine.
can, just so you know, you have to actually speak to someone at the airport. But you know that, right? You can't just check in online anymore.
No, you
I
can't.
mean, you're not. Because
No, you have to go there and speak to someone. And they have to give you a paper that you've actually spoken to someone that's checked your papers and stuff. Don't just go to the gate. Go to the check-in
Yeah,
desk.
you need to
Okay.
get a physical boarding card. That's
Okay.
happened to
Because
me.
I went before fairly recently and I got it online. I think my boyfriend did the same. He got it online. You went straight through. You just go to security, and then when they're checking before boarding you onto the plane, the people check your papers. But yeah, they have it online where they can check your papers online. So
Maybe you should call them.
So you can, they can check you at the gate, but it takes a lot longer to do it there. It's supposed to just go to the desk. I
mean,
was
like
on a flight a couple of weeks ago, so.
it was like before I got on the plane, and they were just saying that you had it. But we'll see. I
Yeah.
mean, if I get a boarding pass, I guess, they say you can check it online. So I imagine they would have said if
You can, but even if you do, you just have to. I recommend you go to the
Guys,
desk anyway.
I as a GM, I don't like this conversation because this is totally like non-immersive, and I'm very disappointed.
Wait, what?
I
Take
think we
the
can-
unicorn,
Airports.
take the Pegasus over
I think we
to
can
this
make people
Italio.
If we have the right
Foreign land.
setup and the right explosives, we can make people fly. I think we could do it.
With a big enough catapult.
Exactly.
Okay.
Totally immersive.
That is my way of saying.
Yeah.
Let's bring it in again.
Time for trebuchet.
We can talk more about the airports after the session.
Mhm.
Our favorite pastime. Anyway, right. So, we got Acheron, Titania, and Aaron stuck in the mini sauna wagon. Bumping away in the wagon, and then we got Ginevra on a horseback, just enjoying the nice weather. Anyone wanna talk about anything specifically in this leg of the journey?
It's just us in the carriage, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll be keeping my eyes on the carriage. The people I can see in the carriage.
Acheron is kind of like probably on the same side as Titania, like has laid down on the bench somewhat, either with like depending on how far towards the middle or not Titania is and how long it is, either like probably like one leg hanging off the side of the bench so it's not on you, maybe like if you know you are like close enough, it's not ever just like one like in your lap.
Yeah, that's fine.
Make me a vitality saving throw, Acheron.
That's not very nice. Why do you hate me?
I don't. I'm just a GM.
I don't believe you.
Ooh.
5.
Oh no!
You are starting to feel a little bit sick in your stomach. You're trying to suppress it, but it's there.
Yeah. Cause like how hot it is.
No,
You're
by
lying
how
down
much
after eating and he's being moved around.
because of how much the wagon is bumping around and you're lying down. The car sickness is real.
Oh, well then, if that's the case, Acheron will then sit up on one end of the wagon, but we'll still like feet up on the bench, stretched out. I'm not doing this bent leg bullshit for several hours. With kind of crossed arms. Sit back. Throw a look at Aaron.
Titania is looking at you two and is like, I don't see much of any way out of going back for us right now.
Yeah, you never know.
All roads lead life in a full circle.
I mean, if I go back, I'm dying. And if you really, really don't want to go back and would rather be dead, I'm okay with sparing you from that fate. If you would really want me to. I don't want to kill you, so like maybe don't choose that option first, but I feel like you have no other way out.
That's not high on the priority list.
Still on the priority list.
The thing is, like, for me at least, if I go back, at least maybe I could save my family.
This is true.
So, it's not like it's all bad for me, but I'm worried about you two.
Oh, if
And
we go
worried
back,
about my
I'm
family.
dead. We both know if we go back, I'm not surviving that.
So what you said, I don't think
Are
I'd
you
survive
sure?
either.
Am I sure? What, like...
Yes. I mean, I think if the Cardinal wanted you dead, we wouldn't be here. Having
The
this
Cardinal
conversation.
wants you to cooperate right now. But when she has you back fully under her control, what use am I? After all, I am the one that allegedly helped you. Not that it's been fully confirmed.
Sorry, Aaron, you asked a question I didn't hear.
Is that because of my microphone or just...
No, it just...
I know, we got interrupted and...
Said that you wouldn't survive either, right?
Well, after what you said.
Probably not.
That was probably not the smartest thing to have said, if I'm honest. I don't know. I'm not good at pretending. I don't know how I got away with this. I'm so outside of my comfort zone here. I'd rather not be. Why did you tell them?
Because I thought they were going to shoot us. Because I knew that because I assumed that Marin was into the religion, actually, a real believer, and I thought that we had a better chance at gaining equal ground if they thought you were a celestial aligned being rather than a devil aligned being. It was all strategy, if I'm being honest.
Strategy for you, not for me. You didn't say what you said to protect me. You said it to protect you.
Yes. This is true. I recognize this is probably not what you wanted.
No, of course not. This was not the plan. Obviously, the plan just went to shit the moment we realized we were way out of our league. I don't know if you are aware exactly what is going to be happening next.
Nope.
Are you?
Decimation of someone's belief system, to think that all their life one thing was true and then to be challenged with evidence that it's not, that isn't met with a cup of tea and a biscuit. That is met with hostility and aggression and fear. What happens next is violence. We are not safe.
There is always going to be violence. Don't be naive.
But violence to only us. This is violence to a lot more people now.
The base violence necessary for change is a universal truth I definitely understand. Violence, as I said, was always going to happen. It always was happening, and it always is happening. Just because you're not observing it doesn't mean it's not a constant. Sure, we may have contributed to it, but not as much as other people have, if that makes you feel any better.
Don't talk to me about violence. I know that you know more than probably you want to let on how much you know about violence, but don't assume that I don't either.
Do you want an apology?
No, I don't get. It's not gonna save. It's not gonna change anything if you apologize. But I don't know how I'm to be the center of attention when I really don't want to be a part of anything. I just wanted to go about my business and try and find my way, and if possible, uncover a couple of things that didn't make sense to me. And now I'm sitting here in this hot box of a cage, with the theory that people outside this cage may consider me to be this weird angel creature that you think means something to them. And now I have to put up this masquerade because of this play that we're putting on. And let me tell you, I am no actor. This will go poorly unless we come up with another plan.
And Aaron looks to Titania.
What the hell was that girl talking about? Sorry.
No, actually, that topic can wait for later. You're talking about the magic.
What the hell was this whole thing? They took everything away from us and they come back in story and then this girl does a detect magic. which I've seen before, but she seems so fixated on me. Not that I can tell. I mean, everything that I knew about channeling and magic is completely different to what you guys know. You learn it in a completely different way. And what I had back then, they were so much bigger than what I am now. And yet, this girl is so fixated. And I have no idea why.
Do you mind if I try to look at it myself and maybe I'll get a better picture of what exactly she was looking at? I don't know right now, but I just want your consent.
Do it. You don't have to ask for my consent. We're in mortal danger, very real danger. And any sort of answers would at least put us on the same level as what they're working on.
Tanya will cast Detect Magic with Soul Mastery.
Alright.
Yep. And I look at Aaron. Try to examine him.
Yeah. There's nothing at first. And you start thinking to yourself that perhaps Osprey is just full of shit.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But then, there it is. Very faint. Something exuding an aura of transmutation and conjuration, but only faintly so. It's just sitting there in the middle of Aaron's chest and moving with him as he breathes.
Well, he wasn't lying, if nothing else, though. It's just passive. It doesn't seem to have any visible effects. Transmutation and conjuration.
Make me...
Am I doing a occult check?
Yeah, I was about to just say
Yeah.
to make me an occult check. Right now, occult with intelligence is to figure out what clothes you're able to get.
No! Oh my god! I've specialized Titania into a cult this entire time, and I haven't had to roll an occult check yet.
That's
Freaking
What the hell is that number?
You know the weave of the world.
Titania is Jesus confirmed.
Well, she is an academic.
She's an academic.
This is what I've spec'd her into this whole time. I have 4
her
pips
life.
in a cult.
Yeah.
Oh. Give it
Okay.
to me, Bexxy.
Okay. Okay, I just need to think about what to say here.
You're welcome.
You take a second look, Titania, and you really try to gather these passive magical forces that is actually welling up from your own soul to focus on the issue in front of you. And just through the nature of your exquisite understanding and talent with magic, you're able to peer past this first, on its own, very faint aura to what lies beyond. And the fact of the matter is that you sense that there's another soul hiding with Aaron's. And this soul is absolutely massive. And it's hiding itself. through this very intricate weave of transmutation. And considering there's conjuration there as well, there might be a mechanism to reverse the process.
Tanya just rips a notebook out of her bag and starts scribbling. It says, okay.
Well, that's not a good sign.
Destroy.
So, this is so far beyond my understanding, but from what I can tell, this presence is...
Quiet voices. Akron to say very quickly, just in case. Yeah,
this is all whispered.
Back to the French circle.
Excuse me, presence?
Yes, it's a second soul within your body, within your soul. Maybe that, and the magic that Osprey and what I'm seeing here is a deception, a mechanism with which to hide this second soul, and it is beyond powerful. I am...
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay, Aaron, this actually is a good time to transition into that question I was going to ask. And again, quiet voices. You have expressed your distaste for Rion. And actually, no, I think I asked this question already. You don't know if you're a Malakim. Malakim are celestials of some kind. Did your celestial conclave have any divine relations to one of the quote-unquote devils? Or is it just its own thing?
This term devils is kind of new to me. Whilst I can recall some celestial deities that were present, I don't know what you call them. I don't know who these devils are. So, can you tell me who they are? Who you call these devils?
I'm trying to remember the names that are used by the frickin' Rihannish people.
Lore time!
I
Go
need
to the
look
lore
at
books!
lore.
Invade the lore book!
Excuse me. Well, I do this.
Do I know their names?
Oh
I think I
yeah,
asked
you
before.
know that for sure.
I as a player know
I thought
but I don't know if Acheron does.
It's
I wasn't sure
part
whether
of...
it was like I thought that they weren't named because it wasn't part of.
Oh yeah, no.
knowledge.
You don't know their true name, but
Yeah,
you know what
they-
the Church
it's-
of Rion is calling them and what they're saying about them.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Okay. I didn't realize they were different. I mean, I know that what the Church of Rion is saying about them is different. I didn't realize that their names were. Okay, so the name is the same, but it's got an added thing that's different.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Gera, you don't know.
There
You
it
don't
is.
know Gera.
Yep, that's it. That's the exact passage I was looking at. Thank you for putting that in chat, Bexxy.
No worries. What you know them as is the snake or the feral
Yeah.
devil, but you wouldn't know Gera. It's just a way to name them for your sake.
Okay, so I know the names like Obsession's Ruin, but not Sulmis.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay, so in the Radiance of Gaynor, in the texts of the Rihannish Church, they teach about Rion, and then they teach about 6 other devils of presumably deific power. There's the feral devil, or the snake, which is essentially is described as a creature of nature and of animals. In Rihanna's text is described as pestilence and plague and natural disaster, that sort of thing. There's the Ruinous Devil, or ill fortune, who is kind of just a destructive deific force. Presumably, like, a creature of war, that sort of domain. There is the Reckless Devil, or the Devil's Child, which is just kind of a force of chaos, similarly to the Ruinous Devil, but also with more of a association with the seas and tempests, this water. There is the Cold Devil, or Winter's Cruelty, which is a deity of winter and cold, storms, that sort of thing. There is the Devil of Temptation, or Obsessions of Ruin, which is... Temptation is a good way to put it, it's just a creature of... described as a creature of frenzy and passion, unburdened, And there is the Devil of Insanity, or the Prince of Greed, who has this primary myth about stealing the stars from the sky, and they're essentially described as this spirit of greed and of nightmares. Those are the 6 ones that are described in the book, which my curiosity has been piqued because I am of the opinion that no deity is purely just these evil, destructive forces. They all have their domains, and these stories seem a little bit one-sided, and no deity is worshipped and remembered just for being evil,
Descriptions are pretty vague. I mean, I knew of their names. Like, Rion is a name. But
right.
These devils, you've not really given me a name that I recognize, just a description.
Yeah, they're never named, they just have titles. I was hoping that the associations
Step 1 to
might...
making your enemies not people is don't give them identities that remind you of the fact that they are people, like not having a name. Humanization 101.
Maybe if you rephrase your question. I mean, you asked if there were... Yeah, there were celestial deities. Some of them were more about law and order and civilization and progression, but then there were some that were more about destruction and wrath, and the genes that followed them were those that we fought. I can't say one way or another who these devils are if I know of them, or maybe I do, but if what Acheron says is true, there's no guarantee that what you have learned is actually who they were or who they are, or if it's
exactly
even true.
That's the problem, is that these are the best, and that's exactly why I'm doing all this research, because these are the best descriptions I have, and...
You have one. You have one you channel. You have a soul mark.
I do. Though...
Which...
Remind me, Bexxy, the Twin Star Society never uses his name, right?
No.
Titania wouldn't know it.
Yeah, it's just a patron of truth.
Mine doesn't match any of these descriptions. They are a supposed patron, spirit, or deity of truth and knowledge. They go unnamed.
According to who? According to who? Who told you that?
between the order that I work for, the Twin Star Society.
I'd love to be able to give you an answer here, Titania. I really would. I just... You're asking a question I have no concept of answer. I don't know those that that has been named here in this time. They don't match. And whilst pieces of information are coming back to me, they don't match either. Where what I experienced and what you experienced are completely different, it seems. Now, that could just be down to the fact that you've been told lies, or you have this indoctrination that tells you, hey, this devil exists, when it could just be a deity that is just trying to, you know, not be a devil. But I don't know what's happened to allow just Rion here. It doesn't work like this.
We have pieces, and this, she like points at whatever's going on in her chest, feels like another piece.
Okay, real quick, just 1 second. I'm assuming based on your reaction, Aaron, that having this as not a common quality in your people.
Yeah, do your people have any stories or something like this? The second soul? Because does it match any myths that Titania would have read?
About second souls hiding within others?
Just a question. If the answer is no, then it's no. You can say that.
Yeah, no, the only myths you've heard about souls is like people gathering essence from each other to feel magic, but in very, you know, lofty language that is coming from this, you know, perhaps, you know, from the Creekish people. And a roundabout explaining magic.
And let me say, Aaron, that this isn't the same as like housing souls within a soul mark. This is a living soul. This is not just power. This is... I think it's a conscious... I want to say it's a consciousness. If it's not, then it is extremely powerful just as a source of energy.
Titania, you're not helping. I don't think that's comforting.
Aaron sits back in the seat and takes a deep breath in and looks to the side briefly, and he has a look of hope on his face. And for a brief moment, he looks almost excited. And he reaches into his pocket and pulls out the clip. And shows it to Titania and says, "What about this? Does this have the same aura?"
Titania will look at it. She can have detect magic up as long as she wants. So.
Oh yeah. There's nothing to the clip.
He looks at Titania with like a genuine longing and waiting for her to say yes.
I can't say. It's just mundane. It doesn't have any magic to it. She'll hand it back.
I feel like Akron can obviously tell that this matters to Aaron. Can I do an insight or empathy composure check to see if I can figure out what the emotional attachment is?
Sure. Let's roll, and then
All this rolls
Adrian can decide what he wants to say, or if you want to roll against.
Titania will just kind of mumble to herself. The unfortunate part about this is I was planning on talking with Osprey now, but now I have to lie to them instead. Which is not a good way to try and build trust. I was hoping to invest.
You have never seen this on Aaron before, and it takes you a little bit aback. Sorry.
It's all good. I was hoping it would be a good trust building opportunity, but now I don't think. I don't know if I would want. I mean, how valuable is this information? We don't know how valuable it is.
I would stab her given half the chance, or them given half the chance.
Fair.
Ginevra.
I can't.
By now.
Siege resistant.
We come back to you, your troubles.
Oh dear.
You have been keeping check a little bit of what's going on inside of the wagon. There's some muffled voices you can't really hear, but they seem to be deep in conversation.
Yeah, but if I can see faces, then I can understand what's going on.
Oh, right. So if you place yourself perhaps
That's what I'm
behind them. All right, okay. So you're like trying not to give off too much of a reaction as you're like reading lips, huh? Fair.
Oh god, Ginevra.
So you do catch perhaps 70% of this conversation, but you're able to patch together the rest because sometimes heads move in other directions. But you do. What catches your eye though is a beggar slowly traveling in the same direction as you guys are. But you catch up, however, as their long crotch underneath their armhole slows them down a lot. They're dressed in a simple, dirty tunic with a bald, sun-kissed head, long white beard. He looks up and almost falls from the surprise of this large retinue of riders and carriage passing by. Then his croaky voice shouts out to you, Ginevra. I'm so thirsty. Does the lord or lady have anything for me to drink?
So is he travelling along the road in the opposite direction?
No,
Just
with
walking
you
along
guys,
the other-
but you're just faster.
Okay, it says he's walking.
Yes, with a crutch
But he's-
underneath his arm.
I'll guess. I'm at the back, right? So
Yes, you're at the
no
back
one else.
with. I think who will be traveling here in the back with you is one of the soldiers. Most of them are in the front.
Then I guess I'll look at one and say, do you mind if I tend to him? Doesn't look well.
As long as you're quick, I
catch up.
think it's fine. All right, you're gonna be
Thank
okay. You want me to be there with you?
No, it's okay.
All right, don't get too far. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll stop with the guy.
Alright. Okay, stop in front of him. It's like water.
And I'll hand him my water skin and kind of look over him, checking if he has, checking if he has any kind of illnesses, marks, anything that I can help with.
Oh, you're so kind, priestess. I never had somebody check me so thoroughly. By the moon, Ginevra, what the fuck is going on? What is happening? What am I supposed to do?
This is the end of you traveling with us. You need to send a message back.
Oh, thank
However you can.
fuck.
We're gonna have to
I don't
just let them know.
These are pros, I'm like, oh, my head, it hurts so much. My hip, this is a
I need
pros.
you to focus.
Okay.
I hold them by the face. I say,
Oh,
if you've
okay.
ever had to focus and be serious and care about something in your life before, it's right now.
What do you mean?
Okay,
I
this is
care very much.
This is important.
Yes,
This
yes.
is important.
Yes,
Okay.
of course.
Don't speak to anyone
You
other
have
than.
very nice lips. Jesus.
Jesus Christ. Focus.
Yes. Focus. Yes. What do you need me to do?
Don't speak to anyone other than them who you need to give the message to.
Okay. What is the message?
The devil
The devil?
is an angel. I think he might be a key.
What?
We're traveling forward into the past and likely to the Raven Moors.
But And ancient realms. How could? Oh, yes, yes. Travel to the Raven Wars.
After that, things might get messy. They want to take us to Ainur. I'm not sure we'll get there. You may need help. This is important. They need to mobilize and pay attention to what's happening here.
It's gonna take a while for a boat, to travel from there to there.
I understand. That's why you speak to no one. You go as fast as you can. This is important, okay?
You know what? I used to have a
Discretion
life.
is important. We all gave up our life for this, because we knew what it was worth.
You owe me a lot.
Sure.
You don't know what I've gone through the last couple of days.
Honey,
Fine.
I think I certainly do.
Honey.
You haven't been on the inside of those walls, okay?
I like the sound of that. Okay. I know what to do. Alright, but are you sure you're gonna be fine without me?
Repeat back to me what you're gonna say.
The devil is an angel. You're probably traveling into Ravenwood territory. Things can get dicey. You need everyone to mobilize, and you think he's a key. Yes?
Yep. And we're traveling with what's the names? I forget which cardinal it is. Not Lumina.
LeBlanc.
LeBlanc.
Cardinal LeBlanc's people.
Oh,
That's
that
why
bitch.
it get dicey.
Okay.
Yes! This man gets it.
Okay.
You can trust me. And he leans in, gives you a kiss on the cheek, gives you a wink. Sereno is the name. And starts traveling
Travel
in the other
safely.
direction very slowly. Oh, my hip feels so much better! Wow, I feel like a young man again.
And I'll get on my horse and quickly get back to the group. It's just
This is
like
the best NPC.
whoever is out there listening, please.
The soldier on the horse, did stop a little bit in the road and was like looking back a little bit, and gives you a nod and like that everything is fine.
I go like,
All right. They nod like they understand. They thought they were pretty cuckoo too, and you rejoin the caravan. All right. Back to the angsty teens inside of the wagon.
Hey, what the heck?
Accurate though.
I'm literally in my 20s, actually.
Alright, okay,
no,
I'm sorry.
Marc,
Back
I'm a
to the
teenager.
angsty 20-year-olds in the wagon.
I do want to
I'm
jump
not
on the
20.
phone thing though before we jump away from it. So,
Mhm.
Gron, has been arms crossed, soul reveal. Ekro's like, I don't get paid enough for this. It is now kind of like back to trying to fucking not even listening to the academic conversation because they can't keep up, and just kind of has been looking kind of at the comb after not having any fucking clue what Aaron's emotional attachment to this thing is. We'll just kind of stare at it for a second and be like, is that sentimental?
They belong to someone very important to me. And I have wondered, since you said another soul, can you tell this soul if it's, I don't know, a good soul? It's pure.
With a natural 20, did I get any alignment sense from it?
There's no alignment in Frostmark.
I know.
No.
You only sense
Is
that
it bright and shiny?
you sense that is the biggest soul that you have ever sensed in your life, and by quite a margin, but
Mhm.
who knows?
Yeah, okay. There's no way to get a base sense of morality from this spell, unfortunately. All I get a all I get is that scale and power. It's beyond anything I've ever seen.
Wait, do you believe in soul purity? Is this one of those weird from before things that's actually maybe a thing?
You know, I wanted to ask about that because Medea was talking about the afterlife. And
Cross checking back out.
and it was described as empty nothingness, which is not the Rihannish description of the afterlife. So, well, first of all, yeah, like, either the description of Rion's afterlife is inaccurate, or Medea had not earned her place there, apparently, through years of service to the agents, in which case...
Rion is a dick.
Yeah, the agents have no actual divine motivation for their actions. That's going in the essay. That's going in the thesis.
Fucking hell.
Sorry, I didn't hear a question.
Oh. I wasn't. I was mostly just talking to myself.
Oh, or, well, I had a hope. I don't know, girl. I had a hope. Maybe what happened back then, something I wished happened, but I don't know if it did. There's still a chance, right, Titania?
It could be this person, soul you're talking about. There's no way of identifying it, at least not within my capabilities. I don't think.
So what do you suggest? I've got this thing you say is inside me, and I have a wish that it is someone that I knew. She was very powerful, just as I was.
Honestly, might sound like bullshit because I think this is completely out of the realm of academia or external influence. Osprey might have been right when they said try and connect with it. You mentioned meditation earlier, and I think trying to. It sounds like nonsense because I don't know if it's actually rooted in any magic, but it sounds like something the spirituality of the Rihannish people might do. Try and focus in on it.
Sounds like a bad idea.
I mean, if you want to learn more, I don't know, when you're heading to sleep, I'd meditate on it.
Yeah, please don't do it in this wagon.
You scared?
Yes, genuinely. I don't know what the fuck it is, and I don't know what you might become. I fucking don't understand you at any rate. And whatever the hell this is, if you want to play around with it, that's your prerogative. But please don't do it in a vicinity where if something happens with you, I'm going to die.
I don't think just trying to get in contact with it would do anything destructive. Well,
you don't know anything about this,
I don't know.
Like,
assuming it's life-threatening.
Not to be rude, you don't really... Like, as much as Osprey thinks you do, you don't actually know that much. I hate to point it out, but it's true.
You're right.
Your thesis is a handful of ideas scattered across 7 notebooks, if not more. You don't... How much evidence have we actually gotten in the last 2 years?
Almost none.
Evidence for what?
Exactly what you are.
discrediting the Rihanna's church and the Radiance of Gaenor, finding out the truth.
What did you think, the little dungeon dives were just for the hell of it?
I didn't really pay attention to what Titania was doing. I had my own objectives.
That was the whole idea. Not many people do pay attention to Titania. This crazy girl doing crazy shit, and they're getting paid, so who gives a fuck?
Yep.
You say you don't want to be important? I hate to admit it, but you are. Congratulations. You're one of the most important things that exists out there, and whether or not you like it, it's true. So, like you said to me, you gotta care about your own safety, and you don't know what the hell this thing is, so, well, interacting with it is sure, dandy, do it. Don't do it in a confined space where if something does happen and you have to get away, you're locked in a box, literally. Doesn't seem smart.
That's actually a good point. I forgot that we're locked in here. I got a little bit caught up in.
That is because you are thinking like people.
What's that supposed to mean?
You think like people. You think like a person. You are locked in a box and you're focusing on things that distract you from the fact that you have no choice any longer. Because it's comforting, and people inherently don't like to be uncomfortable. As bad as the Sparrow program may have been, and as bad as your past might have been, Aaron, both of you have operated primarily as people. And so your first concerns are those of people. What is this thing inside of me? Not considering your surroundings. What's going on with the Rihanna's church and Rihanna, and whether souls are pure, and not that we're locked in a box and have no control anymore. If something did happen with this, if it was hostile, neither of you are armed. I mean, Titania, you have magic, but what if this thing is resistant to that?
You encountered things that are resistant to magic before?
I never encountered magic, period. Everyone who had magic worked for the church. I killed landowners and families and rich people who pissed off the church. I killed civilians, not mages. I haven't encountered magic hostile to me practically ever.
So, why would you assume things are resistant to magic?
Patron, as much as I duly appreciate your concern about our safety, but the thing about those what-if questions is that we'll never get answers if we don't seek them out.
You should seek them.
Yeah, and that's what I'm asking Aaron to do.
But not when we're locked in a box.
Fair enough.
Patron is right. At least it gives me time.
I can think, time to prepare.
Time to dream.
Fair enough.
And Aaron sits back and just holds the clip in his hand and twirls it between his fingers with a curious smile on his face.
Titania begins writing.
Yeah, in doing that, Acheron will sit up properly, scoot over, and ask Titania, because Acheron did say that they were going to help you with your thesis, if you would like, at some point during this, while we have time to write in this carriage, and they can't stop me from saying shit. If you want to know anything about the agents or training to put it in your thing, you have access to it while we're traveling.
How important is the motivation of the divine afterlife to these people, do you think?
Oh, it's literally everything. When they are... The selection of prayers I can recite and verses from the Radiance of Gaenor that I know are all psalms about justifications for the terrible shit we do that are all wrapped up in, if it's for Rion, then it can't truly be evil, and our reward is not of this world, so we don't need to fear earthly pain, as one day it'll all be worth it. We are the left hand in the dark, and we do bad things so others can live righteous lives, and we will be rewarded. Nothing is evil if done in his name.
I wanted to apologize for talking about her, Medea. I know it's, but this is that's actually, this might be huge. I don't, Medea. Do you mind if I ask some questions about her? Okay.
Yeah. I don't think I'm getting out of that one anymore.
I guess I don't want to make you uncomfortable. It's...
Go ahead.
Maybe was Medea at a point, because you guys graduated from the training, at what point did your teachers and trainers say that your deeds would get you into this afterlife? I'm trying to judge if she deserved, because if she, by the standards of the church, did quote-unquote deserved to get into the afterlife, and she had this empty, lonely nothingness, then I think we have a testimony to support the fact that they're wrong.
So, that's kind of a hard question. It's mostly from the beginning. When you're brought in, I was brought in around, God, it must have been 10 or 11, somewhere in there. And I was quite old for the program, to be completely honest. So, most kids are brought in much younger and raised in that. But there is a process of breaking you down, making you nothing so they can build you back up how they want you. And throughout the whole process, that is where it all starts. It's pain, and then being reminded that you have good things waiting, being told to do terrible things, and when the guilt first comes up, they remind you that you shouldn't feel guilty because this is for Rion and it's right. The common notions of not doing harm and not killing people or that kind of thing are not applied to us, because if Rion wants us to do it, then it is right, regardless of, his law trumps man-made law. So it's one of the first things you get.
Medea seemed to believe
Yep.
in that conversation that she believed she needed to redeem herself, that she had failed in some way. And it seemed that she believed that failure was attacking Aaron, because we're putting up the charade of him being a celestial, even though he is a celestial, we're just not sure of what kind. Or we think so, at least. It's hard to...
I think when you're dying, or have died, you'll take any justification to get away from the terror of what happened. And for someone whose entire basis is an afterlife, one that she has always bought into, she was always far more of a believer than I was. I think that the only justification she could come up with for the horror is that she had done something wrong.
Do you think we should... Do you think we could talk to her? Do you think we could get her testimony?
Patron.
Directly?
Also, the whole running away is also...
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna bring that.
Okay.
It's like, I think before she found out about Aaron, that she assumed that because she tried to leave the church, that she had been stripped of that afterlife. But I think now the focus is on the fact that she believes she attacked one of Rion's people or something. No, you're not supposed to leave. It's not very servanty of Rion-ish. As far as talking to her, have you not seen her literally leave any time we're within 2 feet of each other?
That's fair.
You can certainly have a go.
I might. This is the first time I've been able to interact with agents and people from the Sparrow and Falcon program in a way that isn't immediate hostility. And even though there is some hostility, there is some willingness to talk, which is more than I had back in Iowa. So.
Fair.
You know, just as a possibility, Ginevra is out there with Medea.
It's also possible. We could ask her to ask the questions for us.
Ask her what? Exactly, again?
I want to confirm her testimony. Get a more detailed one, preferably, instead of just a passing conversation with Aaron. Because eavesdropping is an effective way of getting information, but it's not the most effective way.
So you want to ask Ginevra to ask Medea to relive her death?
I get that it is invasive. That's just one possibility. I would rather ask the questions myself, but Ginevra seems more in a position of power and better at asking questions than I am.
I mean, I'll give you this. Medea will more likely answer Ginevra than you because she thinks that she has to.
Right.
So, you can definitely use that power imbalance to our advantage.
I think I'll hold on to that. Not today. But...
Good news is, I think we can maybe, if we really gave it a go, potentially convince some of them in the long run to see things more our way, maybe.
They're not all bad.
No, of course not.
They're people.
I don't even think most of them were primarily assassins. I think these are primarily scouts. So they weren't even doing the real bad shit. No, this is the much lighter side of agent work, which is not that they haven't killed people. I'm sure the bodies are numerous, but you know, probably less torture on their hands, so that might give us some points.
As obnoxious as Osprey is, they are. I understand them.
They have to include them.
I mean, I would like to personally. They have skills and stories that I don't. And I'd like to learn from them if I can.
I found it interesting earlier when Meulen and I were trading jabs that I actually did manage to gain past details of entry into the program or whatever.
What did he tell you?
Oh, he was giving up. I just asked if his parents if he was orphaned or given to the program, and he said that he was given up, which rip. It's not uncommon. It's how a lot of kids enter. Either your parents are dead and you're given to the church, or maybe they can't take care of you and you're found, you run away. Some kids are basically sold. Gotta feed the machine somehow, right?
Right. Alright, well thank you for answering my question. I think I'm gonna try and rest a little bit. It's been a hard morning. Okay.
It'll get easier. It's not that bad. Think of it this way, no one has been tortured yet, so it's a really good sign.
That is a fair point. Scene change?
Yes. Continue on writing for a while. There's a bit of food basically being tossed inside with you. Some rations, some water. And eventually, some time after your lunch, the trees relent their dominion of the landscape to hand it over to fields. Miles and miles of wild fields, agriculture fields, and husbandry goes past the view of your wagon. Small farmhouses, barns, animal sheds, standing alone or in clusters, dot the landscape around you. Cows and horses graze fenced meadows, and people can sometimes be spotted out on the fields or bustling around their houses. Sometimes these vast and open rolling plains are broken up by patches of forest to remind you that you are still in Oldwood after all. But life here seems a little bit different in the Mepara's garden, where the woodlings hide away in the sea of trees in the Oldberry woods. Here communities and families are bare to the world, and most of these communities gather around the central road and other paths that cut through this vital area of food production for Oldwood. But Myron quickly diverts from the main road at this point, seemingly preferring the smaller roads. It will slow your travel down, but it also may draw less attention. Do you approach anyone and talk to them, or do you stay behind the wagon now that your companions have grown silent?
I was planning to go up to why am I so terrible with names? What's his name?
Mirren, alright.
Go up to Mirren. I say tonight, I'm always terrible with names.
No worries.
And just ask him what he thinks, he expects to find on the way forward. What kind of things we should be looking out for, keeping an eye out for. I'm equipped to deal with things at a distance, so it's helpful to know what I should have an eye out for.
He nods, still looking out on the area around. He is more of a forward position. There's not particularly many dangers here where we are. The main road is often populated with Strasser here more than ever before because of the trade sanctions by the pass. But I prefer not to get constant, uncomfortable questions, considering our strange caravan.
Good idea.
Sometimes a few upstart bandits, but usually it's just kids being hungry or desperate.
And in the valley? Do we have any idea of what we might be facing there?
The Ravenmoors have a fort of their own, and forward scouts keeping an eye on the Queen's forces and their movement, looking for an opportunity to perhaps end the trade embargo. But I, given the opportunity to talk to them, have means of ending any hostile intent.
So we do not mean to go hidden.
Though within the Ravenmoor territory itself, things have gotten a bit more lawless. If you run into people off the Ravenmoors, as long as I said, I have the opportunity to talk to them, it should be fine. But there are also a curious amount of Stormholmish presence running around trying to vie favor with the Ravenmoors. They can be a little bit harder to deal with. They have absolutely no respect for the church.
So the Ravenmoors, or those under them, despite what they've been doing to the churches, would allow you to pass through by using an authority provided by the church? I'm a little confused.
Let us say that the Cardinal has a unique line of conversation with the Ravenmoors. And we are protected diplomatically by our connection with her eminence.
Would this be something, maybe not all details, but general idea that would be worth me knowing if I'm going to be discussing with them and be in such diplomatic talks, accompanying Titania? I imagine you wouldn't want her to know.
This is all a exercise of trust, really. Especially so for Titania. Her Eminence have instructed me that if Titania falls into line, then perhaps she can be fed more and more information that will make her more and more useful for her Eminence. And despite we have signed a very stringent NDA with you, Priestess, I rather warm you up to what's going on rather than just throw it at you. It's a lot to chew. No disrespect.
I appreciate
meant.
it. That's simply why I asked. I would rather face things with some knowledge rather than come across something and be utterly useless because I don't know the details of the situation and can't provide much help.
If you are among the general populace of the Ravenmoors, I would be careful. They still believe that all priests and priestesses and all the Rianish believers should be reported to the authorities or be dealt with because of what the Ravenmoors orders and reward and punishment system they have set up. But as long as you remain close and mention to the right people that you're working for Cardinal LeBlanc, it should be fine.
Is there any way that I can prove that? Any small gesture that marks me out as honest, true when I say that?
Say that you respect the existence of the Stormlord. It's their faith.
The Ravenlords?
Yes. They believe that there is another deity.
Curious.
I have many opinions about this, but I accept my position in the cog. And I have trust in the Cardinal and what she's doing. Despite this upfront that we're dealing with.
Can I discern how strong that trust is and how close he is to feeling like I shouldn't be doing this?
Alright, yeah, roll an empathy quotient. Oh. it's obvious that he doesn't agree with what's going on, but it also seems obvious that this is a he is good at following orders. Accepts his position. So.
Okay, so he accepts his position quite a lot more than the strength with which he disagrees.
Yes.
Okay. And I imagine this is linked to the artifact. Thank you for trusting me with this. I hope I can be of help, be of service.
That's a strange set of words coming out of the priest's mouth, but I appreciate it nonetheless. And, well, there's the safety.
Well, I live to serve. That can mean different things in different scenarios, as I'm sure you're now very aware.
But the way you serve is distinctly different from how I serve.
That's why I ask the questions. I'm kind of out of my comfort zone, so any guidance on how I can help is appreciated.
All right. Sure. I'll make sure to drink some water. The temperature in the sun can make you a bit dizzy if you're not careful. We are in dizzying presence.
I will do that.
Right.
Now I'll kind of separate away and head back to the back.
Okay. In the sauna. Are you still resting?
Yeah,
Early
I think
afternoon?
Titania just wants a nap.
I think if no one objects to it, the other two are just resting. Akron might actually bust out the pan flute and just play some music. It's not happy or bouncy, but it's also not the same kind of very sorrowful, ominous lullabies you've heard before. It's in a way, it's a little hopeful. It has a couple of rises that seem
Major keys sometimes, major chords.
I guess it's like light coming through the trees, or the first sunrise kind of hopeful tone. That's the vibes. We'll just kind of play some soft little tunes for a while,
right.
As long as no one objects.
You're good to go.
In the cart.
A minute or two passes by with the tunes, and then Aaron takes his focus off of the cliff and says, I thought we were just meant to be riding and you're just soaking down the time.
No, I believe this is just how it is. Oh, stop playing for a second. Straight up in the middle of the tune, just stops playing to respond.
I thought we are not prisoners.
We are. But
I think Moran was... We'll see. Maybe we'll be let out in the evening once we're far enough away, or once we're not being monitored anymore.
I mean, if we're good little kids.
But also,
we might
it's
be
entirely
allowed
possible we'll be stuck.
Gotta behave yourself. If you can. Necron will say that with a little smile. It's clearly supposed to be humorous. Attempt at a joke.
What do you mean? I can behave myself.
I was trying to... It's humor. I heard that this is how you make friends. I'm trying to... I think it's, what is it, an olive branch? A truce between us. I respect you, Aaron, and I apologize for my earlier actions. I don't want there to be... I'd rather be, like, not fighting, I guess.
Is this where you bring out a rock?
I think they took all my rocks.
I do have the happy rock.
Do you have the happy rock?
Did they take the happy rock?
No, you still have the. I think you still have the happy rock because I did give it to you last. If you didn't give it back, you should still have it.
Tanya will rummage about in her bag for the happy rock and give it to Acheron.
Please have the happy rock.
Oh, the happy rock.
It looks like the sad rock, but instead it has like a slightly like wonky smile and like obviously a happy expression. Incredible. The happy rock is found. Seems very amused with this. Well, offer it to Aaron, like just like put it next to Aaron's bench. Like,
you know,
Tanya's grinning from ear to ear.
Put it on the bench next to him.
you asked for a rock.
Well, no, I mean, I was told to look out for oddities. Looking at Titania, when it comes to you, Acheron, and you have an interesting culture. If it means giving rocks to people.
I'm not sure that's a culture.
Maybe a personal culture.
I mean, well, it's from
Technically
Like an
counts.
idiosyncrasy.
after we left the church, you can imagine I did not understand basic emotions. Titania and I met a particular individual who really helped us out, and having the emotional understanding of like a 5-year-old, you can imagine that there's quite a few issues with communication, and this is one of the ways that he suggested I attempt emotions. I don't know. Emotions seem disgusting, and I hate them. So,
I mean, it honestly worked out really well when it was just the two of us in the apartment, but it's kind of a different dynamic now that we're out in the field.
yeah, you know. But, no, it doesn't seem like it, but I genuinely do respect you, Aaron. I'd like us to be not antagonistic.
I suppose I should also apologize, given I lied to you too. I didn't want you to get your hopes up. I didn't expect you to encourage such a scene back in the tavern, and then the result of such words after I told you other people don't exist.
Thank you. Her turns to Tanya and goes, what do you say?
Thank you. We're making progress.
Yes, Akra will turn to Aaron and go, thank you.
I don't want you to put me into some sort of basket. You seem to have a lot of preconceptions that have been taught to you, whether or not you chose to accept them or not is kind of irrelevant, but there seems to be a lot of strange fantasy and fiction going on around here. I really don't understand a lot of it, and honestly, every day seems like I'm out of breath keeping up with whatever is going on here versus what this Frostmark is really all about. It's the biggest fish out of water story I can possibly think of. Sometimes I don't know if I really understand. I'm just trying to piece this all together too.
Of course, yeah. It's kind of, my life has been so centered around all of this mythology, and even if I don't believe it in its entirety, it is still the foundation upon which my research has to be done, even if it's in an attempt to disprove it. So, yeah, I appreciate your honesty, and if you have any questions about, I guess, what life is like here, maybe I can answer them. I'm not entirely sure, but I think I'll try and not presume you have as much knowledge, and we'll keep it on an equal playing field, you know? Try and share as much knowledge as possible, and this is going to be you make it a learning experience process for all of us.
But aren't you someone that can just remember a lot of things? I mean, you seem to be excellent at recalling basically anything.
I do have a really good memory, yeah.
So
we can tell you the
you've
stories
read.
if you
Well, presumably you've read a lot of books.
Yeah.
want.
Suffice
No,
to
it's
say,
my
yes.
favorite book ever.
I spent most of my days in the university library, so.
And presumably history books were included in that.
Yeah. A good amount
What
of
would you
research has been on
say?
this.
Okay, so what's the earliest thing in the history books?
What is the earliest thing in the history books, Bexxy? In
It's,
factual history.
yeah,
that
yeah.
people can confirm.
Oh God. Okay. So the earliest book that you know of is 742 years old, and it's a record of Empress Lyanna's crowning of becoming empress.
Okay, yeah.
So that's a factual thing that you know what happened, but also the book describes of now the dark ages are over and all the hardships that humanity has gone through is over, and we can turn a new page and live in harmony with Rihanna, and everything will become better.
Yes, the earliest record of history books and factual history, not the mythologized version that we see depicted in the religious texts, is the founding of the empire, in which it was supposed that the enemies of the Rihannish Empire were defeated, and peace could reign with the new Empress Lyanna. Wait, Bexxy, are the enemies in that are the enemies of the Empire described as like the devils and stuff, or is it more mundane?
No, that was definitely the devils making basically hell on Frostmark until Gienna rose up and saved all of Frostmark.
And so, the devils were the foes of the Rihannish Empire, and with the destruction of their forces, the Rihannish Empire was founded. That's where we see we had the 10 dukedoms, which were later, after the fall of the Empire, which was about a bit more than 100 years ago. We now see the different kingdoms of Frostmark.
Yeah, the dukedoms were administrational areas. So Frostmark, even though it was an empire, was cut down into smaller chunks, right, to be able to handle. And so the lore goes that Giano's soul was cut into 10 and infused in his greatest generals and advisors, who became the dukes and duchesses of the 10 areas, and then Empress Liana becoming technically the duke of Duchess of Margrave as well as Empress. And then that broke apart. War happened. Some of these lines between these dukes shifted because of the wars, and here we are.
The thing about this is, of course, this is history. However, it's also heavily tied into the mythologized version. This is the Rianish Empire, obviously, but we can confirm that the crowning of Empress Liana and the founding of the empire did happen at the end of a war, about 740 years ago.
What happened before that?
Most of that is described in Radiance of Gaynor, which we know is mythologized, and I have heavy doubts about it, about its factuality. But it was war. It was a conflict between the forces of Rian and the devils that are described in the Radiance of Gaynor. And it's kind of described in those books in those text records about the coronation of Empress Liana, that with the formation of the empire and the dukedoms was the end of the war and the beginning of a time of peace.
But that's not the beginning of time. You understand this?
No, it's as far back as our records go.
Have you found anything that goes beyond those records?
That's kind of what I've been searching for. Things
That's
that
the
are
reason why we had to leave to ask these questions. You're not allowed to.
things that are buried and long forgotten. You know, old faiths and cultures that are prohibited to be spoken of by the Rianish Empire. Or by the church, or not the empire, but the church. They were banned by the empire, but now the church and the religious forces.
I mean, the Kriegish might know potentially. They have different
The
stories.
Kriegish do have their old shamanistic phase, which they're not as historical as I would like them to be. But I have expressed great interest in looking into them more.
I need to, well, I was trying to find things to piece together a timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Your history doesn't
Go back, does it?
No. I'm trying to find a period of time where things stopped for me and where they began again.
Mm-hmm.
That will at least give me some idea in terms of the scope of what has happened. I can't tell you any sort of numbers in terms of how old things are, but
well, we'll find out together. It'll be something we learn, hopefully over the course of this whole experience.
Might be a weird thing for you to hear, but you don't have to be alone if you don't want to anymore, Aaron. It's okay to have help and people on your side.
Is everyone on my side, though? I don't think so.
Not everyone has to be, but we can be.
I would like to be. If nothing else, our interests are aligned. We're both interested in, I guess, learning more about your past, albeit for different reasons, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't cooperate. I mean, we're cooperating now.
And as far as I go, you said you didn't want to be special. And while I did use your nature for my benefit, and I recognize that was probably not a nice thing to do, to me, you're just Aaron. And, well, that you're weird and you do have things going on for you. Being just Aaron doesn't mean that we don't have things in common, like a lack of a home. And I can't have one, but maybe I could help you recover some of yours. I don't know, something about helping each other.
I think you and I have a bit more in common than that, I thought.
Probably.
Well,
Point
you
is,
shun and disbelieve. And for however you've managed to do that, compared to what is possible, I do admire the fact that you choose to be empty. Because I feel that too. Something's been taken away from me. Something I used to have. And I thought, when you said there was something inside me, that maybe there was a sign, chance, hope. But now, I don't know. I used to feel something more. I used to be able to feel the deity I was connected to. I could channel her strength through me. Now it's gone. It is an empty void eating me up.
maybe we can fix that together.
Maybe you can find something for your void too.
Guess it's always possible.
All right. And with that rather hopeful message, getting to know each other a little bit better, started to care for each other, but also a lot of like massive, like, whoa, a massive soul hiding with Aaron.
A natural 20.
A natural
That was
20
so good.
for sure.
Perfect timing, right?
Yeah.
29!
And
I'm so glad your first ever call roll you got a 20.
Miron talking about the Stormlord and the Raven Moors, with all this knowledge at hand and the more mysteries to be had. This is where we're going to end tonight's episode of Agents Return. Woo!
Oh, that was a good one, guys.